252.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to another episode of 252. This is Frank G here along with
Ralphie D.
Cool Water Kurt.
Johnny Blaze.
Alright, the gang's all here. And since we've been sort of off the air for a little while, we're just going to have a roundtable retro review of whatever the heck we feel like talking about. Let's start it off with 252 news and reviews.
Okay, for all the news and review and pop culture that's right to type, 252 top stories. Hart?
Dwayne "Not the Rock" Johnson's victory could set a massive precedent for thousands of other cases claiming Monsanto's famous herbicide causes non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
What?
San Francisco jurors just ruled that the Roundup, the most popular weed killer in the world, gave a former school groundskeeper terminal cancer. He was awarded $289 million.
I believe it's $289 million in damages.
They're going to appeal, but I hope he gets it.
I doubt. I seriously doubt he's going to get to $289 million, and it is terminal. I mean, he looked.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, but I mean, I've been saying for
years. He's still going to die, so congratulations, I guess.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Can't take it with you.
Well, you can. You can request to bury it in his coffin.
But you know what? I've actually been saying for years, like that Roundup, it can't be good because you know that weed killer. It's like, hey man,
It
like,
kills everything.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, we got dogs and stuff. Are they okay?
Keep
They're
them in the
fine.
house.
Yeah,
No, keep them in the house.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like roach killers, just nerve agent. You breathe enough of it, you're dead.
yeah.
Kills bugs dead. Ooh. All right, what we got next?
And it builds up in us for what? How long have we been eating that stuff? 25, 30 years? So a little tiny bit times a million times.
Right. And when you think that he was like a groundskeeper at the school, like how often was he, using it? And you got to think about, there's a lot of, landscapers and stuff like that. A lot of these day workers, and you know that they are just drinking that stuff.
Hopefully it's an easy fix. They have some kind of mask they can wear to protect themselves.
Yeah.
Who knows? It's up to the chemist.
Well, I know the Roundup people, they have not been available for comment. Surprise, surprise, surprise. But with no other surprises, the California wildfires. 15 of California's 20 biggest fires have occurred since 2000. And people say they don't believe in global warming. With the Ranch Fire and Lake Mendocino and the Colusa County recently slipping into the top spot, the blaze has burned nearly 300,000 acres.
Wow.
I remember the one last year at Napa. I want to say it was around 5,500 acres or what it was like.
It was like
It was a lot of. It was like 5,500 homes, or not just homes, but buildings. That's what it was. That was the amazing stat that came up.
It's a terrible tragedy. They had a heart-wrenching news story of a grandfather who got a call from his family. The fire was spreading so fast, and then apparently in the other direction that they thought it was going to go.
Right.
The family didn't evacuate the house and was talking to the grandfather, who could not get to the house to save him.
Yeah.
And it was just tragic.
Well, I mean, bringing the story home last week at work, there were so many call-outs the one night because there were so many call-outs because we had actually people who were in evacuation. They were forced to leave their homes. And my buddies, like, they had put the post on like Instagram and stuff like that. It was like, this is my house. You could see my truck parked in front, and you could see the fire coming over. And one kid had set up a what do they call it? Those the time lapse cameras. He had his camera set up there, and it kind of showed everything from when it got hazy to the smoke to where the fire came and everything to where all the way where they.
So that was the "Don't fire me." There is a fire here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Tragic story. All right, rumors have already started to swirl as to which actor should play James Bond in the franchise after Daniel Craig ends his run as 007.
Hey, real quick, doesn't Daniel Craig always say after every James Bond movie, this is the last James Bond movie I'm going to do?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't see him in a lot of interviews. to tell you the
Yeah.
truth. I don't see him a lot in the paparazzi photos and whatnot. I think he kind of family man.
keeps it
or
low
something.
Keeps it low.
Yeah.
Low key.
But Daniel will officially play the spy again in Bond 25, hitting theaters next year. Idris Elba had to respond to the rumors that he was in the running to play the super spy. But is the world ready for a black Bond?
No, next story.
Well, I mean, as yeah, I just want to expunge on this a little bit because as this story has unfolded, I believe now Idris Elba has officially taken his name out.
I don't
of
think
the-
his name was ever in the hat.
I think, well, people have been talking about it for years about him possibly playing James Bond. They're looking for maybe a black Bond. They're even looking for a female Bond. Maybe it might be time for Jane Bond to come out.
Well, you know, when Pierce Brosnan
They can't do
took
it
the-
right now because Doctor Who just did it, and they're totally going to be seen as riding the boat there, you know?
Right.
Jumping on the bandwagon. Oh, well, they did it, so now we have to do it too. And all these people that complain and bitch about it already, you know, oh, how come it has to be a girl?
Yeah.
As far as there being girls in Star Wars and Doctor
Right.
Who, anything nerd related, you know. So people just complain too much if they do that. So I don't think that'll work.
Well, you know what? We've actually talked in depth when it comes to the gender swapping and race swapping in Hollywood. It is a trend. It is something that has been going on for a long time now. We said with Nick Fury, all of a sudden they got Samuel L. Jackson. There's now a generation of people who thinks Nick Fury is a bald-headed black man. Then there's those of us that are of age that remember Nick Fury with the wingtips, you know.
Yeah.
And
Well, the thing is,
David Hasselhoff, baby.
I'm a big Bond fan. I've read most of the
that
books.
that was terrible.
And-
Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. with starring David
It was
Hasselhoff.
perfect casting.
Wow.
Terrible movie.
That was terrible. And so, anyway,
No, I was saying that I've
Give him
read.
a watch to let him talk to a car. That would have been a cool move.
I've seen the movies, read the books, loved James Bond.
Yes.
When Pierce Brosnan took over, they complained incessantly he was Irish, not Scottish, because he is half Scottish, half Welsh in the books.
Yeah.
And then you had an American writer took over, the first American writer to
Right.
write for Bond. He got fired after 3 excellent books because he was an American. I mean, these Bond fans are really, really picky about who plays James Bond.
Well, these fans of anything
Oh,
are
I'm
very
sorry. Yeah,
picky
well.
about anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
But he's it's like he's got to be Scottish.
yeah.
He's got to be so tall. He's got to have full head of hair. They made Sean Connery wear a hairpiece
Oh, a
and toupee in the later movies.
Yeah.
what do you
it's
mean?
like-
Sean Connery was bald when he was
Yes,
James
he's
Bond?
been- Yes.
He's been bald.
Yes. he is.
No, I thought he just lost his hair for the Untouchables.
It all fell out overnight when he was casting the Untouchable.
Well, 3 years, Trebek.
Remember that bitchin' ponytail he had in, what was the movie when he wore the red
Medicine Man?
diaper? Well, that one too.
Oh.
Haven't you ever lost anything like
Your purse and your car keys.
Yeah.
Oh,
Retro recast, guys. Who would you put as James Bond?
Oh, that is really hard. I'd have to give that some thought.
nowadays, I would think if I was to go with someone, I would probably give Tom Hiddleston a shot.
Now?
Oh, that's a good one.
I was
Well, because now Loki's
I
dead.
was going to go out of the box and say Donald Glover, even though it was just Lando. Nobody noticed.
Yeah.
I was.
That's
I
pretty good.
like Clive Owen. Because I have given it some thought. I thought
Ooh.
Clive Owen would do a good job.
I think Clive Owen would do a good job
Yeah.
too. You know why? Because it was very James Bond-ish when he used to do those. You remember those old BMW commercials that you did on the
Yes.
internet?
That's right.
That was very James
How about
Bond.
Mr. Bean? That would do it.
Rowan Atkinson.
That would be interesting, you know. And then the whole thing about a female Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, you know what? I think a female Bond would be great. A great
Because you know who could
womanizer.
do it? You know who'd be a good job at it? I want to say her name is.
Sandra Bernhard.
No, I was going to say Eva Green.
Oh, Eva Green. She's great. Yeah.
You know who?
Plus, she gets naked in
I
it.
can't-
Yeah, I think she was in. I think she played
Yeah.
in Casino. Was it Casino Royale? I think she was.
Yeah, she was a Bond girl.
She was a Bond girl. That would be an interesting twist.
I would
turn
like
a
to see a Bond woman.
Ha.
Bond
Well,
woman.
this week's review Black Klansman. From visionary filmmaker Spike Lee comes an incredible true story of an American hero. In the early 1970s, Ron Stallworth, played by John David Washington, is the first African-American detective to serve in the Colorado Springs Police Department. Determined to make a name for himself, Stallworth bravely sets out on a dangerous mission: infiltrate and expose the Ku Klux Klan. The young detective soon recruits a more seasoned colleague, Flip Zimmerman, played by the incomparable Adam Driver, into the undercover investigation of a lifetime. Together, they team up to take down the extremist hate group as the organization aims to sanitize its violent rhetoric to appeal to the mainstream. Produced by the team behind the Academy Award-winning Get Out.
Now, you know what? The only thing that was off-putting for me with this movie was I kept waiting for Red Foreman to come in and call David Duke a dumbass. No, I'm kidding. This movie was great.
Racist dumbass.
It was
you know,
great.
playing the role of David Duke, Topher Grace. First, I'm gonna start and say that he actually did a really good job
Yeah,
because
he was good.
he played David Duke almost into the set in a way where it was like.
Yeah, you felt kind of bad for him a little bit.
Yeah, and then you realize, nah, man, this is David Duke.
Yeah, he was a rube.
David Duke was a slick one. I don't know if you guys remember when he was on TV and doing interviews and ads when he was running for the Senate, I think.
Yeah, well,
he came off as this nice,
Yeah.
young, wholesome
Oh yeah.
person, and he was the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan.
And he did the best. Like he was like, "Well, I'm not gonna do the robe and the hood. I'm gonna come out with it in
It's
a
the
suit,
organization.
and this the organization. I'm the national director of the organization.
Yeah.
You know,
he was
the Invisible Empire.
definitely slick.
I was definitely after I watched that movie, I kind of came out like this, just looking around,
Well,
wondering who.
cast well. Spike Lee did the shot. I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
And
The Spike Lee.
you know, it was a good
I
story.
I would have to say that I would.
Well acted.
I've seen a lot of Spike Lee movies. A few of them, you know, he's had a couple of hits and misses in his career. I definitely think this is a hit. I will also go ahead and say the lead actor, John David Washington. He has come up as his own as an actor. I mean, I am a fan of his because I watched that show Ballers.
Yeah,
I'm like season
he was
4
good on
right
that.
now. But on Ballers, I never quite saw it. I never saw it. But when I watched this movie, there was a lot of mannerisms and a lot of affect that he had that reminded me a lot of his dad.
Oh yeah, that's why
And-
Spike Lee got him in.
And I think that, obviously, since Spike did those movies with Denzel Washington back in the day, there's a pretty good chance that John David was on the set. So Spike knew him. You know, I know your father. I made movies with your father. I made the movies with your father. I'm making the movies with you.
Well,
I make the movies with your father. I'm making movies with you, and I'm gonna bring it out of you.
I love Spike Lee. I would see the
See
movie.
what I did there?
Yeah, see,
I would see the movie just because he made it, but no one, filmmaker, when you look at his list of movies, they're not all hits. There are always some misses, and I think he's a great filmmaker. There's certainly a couple movies he's made I didn't like, but I'm excited to see Black Klansman.
Yeah. I took notes. It was well done. Spike Lee's got more hits than misses. I'd say there's maybe one or two, but I mean, he's got a dozen movies that I would, if it's on, I'm watching it, or I own it. So, go see it. Now, Ralphie D recommends Castle Rock. The Stephen King multiverse is the setting for this psychological horror series. It takes place in Castle Rock, Maine, which is a location familiar to fans of King's work. Castle Rock explores themes and worlds that unite King's canon, including the infamous Shawshank Prison. An anonymous phone call lures death row attorney Henry Deaver back to Castle Rock. He is unsettled by his hometown, but he returns to help a sinister, mostly mute man being kept in a cage underneath Shawshank. Sissy Spacek and Bill Skarsgård, who starred in feature adaptations of King's Carrie and It, respectively, are among the show stars. Well acted, well done, and a lot of twists and turns in this show.
Yeah, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Mark Bernardin is one of the writers
I don't
on this
know.
show.
I just watch it.
I know it's like because I like listening to Kevin Smith, and I know that they were talking about it recently. I think this was the show that they were talking about. And then when I saw you said this,
Well, there's no way to
so is
find
this
out,
on
so.
is this on Amazon or Hulu?
Hulu.
It's on Hulu. It's a Hulu
Yeah.
show.
Hulu show. Check it out. If you like King and the King verse, you'll dig it. There's a lot of Easter eggs things.
I gotta put in a retraction. I'm gonna lose my James Bond fan card. Bond is half Scottish, half Swiss.
Oh,
I
man.
know if there's any Bond fans watching, they like threw their computer out the window when I said, wow.
Listen, nobody's watching, so don't worry about it. Anywho,
Not true. We have very dedicated fans.
who?
They keep turning into the show, going, where the hell is the damn thing? Oh, it's just these dudes.
Everybody wants to see the damn thing.
We need girls jumping on trampolines at the end of the show.
I think you're right. Ziki saki, oi, oi, oi.
I think we can definitely do that.
Get girls jumping on trampolines.
Well, we can put an image right here.
Oh, right.
It's the internet. We can do anything we want.
This is true. Well,
I
so
said post a show, apparently. They were giving me some crap all day yesterday. It finally worked.
Yeah.
all right, good. Yeah, the internet, man. Who can trust it? Anyway, I'm Ralphie D.
They're like, you're too damn consistent.
Too damn.
Now you can be Ralphie D.
I'm Ralphie D, and that's news to me.
I'm Coolwater Kurt. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Check out Comic Safari, my man AM. Like, subscribe, make it your favorite. I'm JB, and this is 252 News and Reviews, where you hear it first.
252.
Odds on it. Pull yourself together.